multiples of each number.
You want multiples? When you're counting by 25s and counting by hundreds? I don't think you mean multiples. What do you mean? I'm going to find the greatest common what? What does the F stand for? Ron?
Factors.
Factor. All right. What were the factors for 25, Sarah?
25. 25.
25.
1.
What other fact will give you 25?
5.
5 times 5. Is there anything else? No. We're not going to do them all for 100, but what are some of the factors? Mark.
10 times 10.
Okay, 10 times 10, so we can just put down 110. We always know it's 1 times 100. What else? Think about 100 as being 100 pennies or $1. What other ways could you make $1? Natalie?
24 times 4. 25 times 4.
25 times 4. What if you had half-dollar pieces? How many would you need? What would it be, Jen?
50 and 2.
All right, 50 and 2. Well, right there we have some common factors. Do we see a large common factor in both of them? Brian?
25.
25. So what are we going to do with that 25 then to get this into a simpler form? Brian?
Divided by 25.
Divide what?
25 divided by 25 and 25 divided by 100.
25 divided by 100? Or 100?
Divided by 25.
Right, 100 divided by 25. All right. Remember, whatever you do to the top number, you have to do to the bottom number. What's 25 divided by 25? Sean, how many times does 25 go into 25? One time. How many times does 25 go into 100? 3. 4. Much simpler to look at this fraction, 1/4, than to look at 25, 1/100. All right, you wouldn't want to take this circle and divide it all into 100 tiny pieces and then say, all right, I'm going to talk about 25 of these pieces. All right, much easier to divide it into fourths and talk about one section. And that's what you're going to have to do on your test. They're going to give you a total amount, and you're going to have to get a fraction from it. And they're not going to give you easy ones. They're not going to give you something that you can see right away is a fourth or a half or a third. But they will give you something that you can simplify once you find the factors. What if you have something like this? I wouldn't expect you to do all the factors for those numbers. What's the easiest way to do it when you have like 120 over 360? What did I say you could do? Ken? All right, as long as you can cross out a 0 on each one. All right, now you've got 12 over 36. Is that much easier to simplify?
Yeah.
What number can go into 12 and into 36? Will it matter if you don't take the largest number the first time?
No.
What will you have to do, Jen? If you don't take the largest number the first time?
You'd have to do it again.
You'd have to divide it again, right. All right, what number would you like to divide this one by to start? What we got here? Ron, what number do you think can go into 12 and into 36 evenly?
6.
All right, divide them both by 6. And what do we get? 12 divided by 6, Ron?
2.
2. 36 divided by 6. All right. Is there another number now that can go into 2 and into 6 evenly, Melissa? You can divide it again by 2. Oops. And what do we get when we divide it by 2? Ryan?
4.
1. 6 divided by 2? 3. Is there any other number now that you can divide 1 and 3 by, other than 1? What happens if we divide it by 1? You'll keep going. You'll get 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. You'll never get anything different. What could we have divided this by to save one step? But this is not wrong if you do it this way. All right, this is all right, as long as you get to this final answer. What could we have divided both of these by? Ryan?
12.
Could have divided 12 and 36 by 12 to begin with. And 12 divided by 12 would be 1. 12 goes into 36, or 36 divided by 12 is 3. That's in one step. But either way is okay. Questions on finding the fractions? Does anybody have any questions about the line graphs, bar graphs, or pie graphs or circle graphs? These are review dittos that you're going to be working on. And work for about 10 minutes on these, and then you can put them away, and we're going to go right on to spelling and language. First page is the line graph. Second page, bar graph. And third page is a pie. All right, we're not going to be using it again anymore. I should have said something earlier, though. Okay. Todd, where is your paper from yesterday? I heard Miss T had to work with you. Miss T did it. Did she find the answers all right in the book? Or could she do them all right? On these papers, if you need some help from someone in your group, you may get it on this paper, on these papers, because I want you to get the idea for the test. Tomorrow you're going to be working on a review, but it's going to be counted as a unit checkup. You cannot get help tomorrow. If you need some help now. Pencil? Got one? Open them. Okay, now I'll read this to you, but I want you to try and look up here. I don't want you just looking at the answers. In which year was the least money raised? The smallest amount. Which year was it? Yeah, go ahead. You're right. All right, this one is, how much money was raised in 1985? Okay. Between which 2 years did the greatest decrease in money raised occur? What was the biggest amount? That was the difference. All right, well, if you look here, decrease now, getting smaller. So here, from here to here, it went smaller. And then what did it do here and here? It went up. Then from here to here, it went smaller. So now what you have to see is, it between 1988 and 1989, is that a bigger difference, or is this a bigger difference? Okay, so you got to put both years. For number 5, make sure you have 2 years down. It says between which 2 years. Sarah?
For number 1, are we supposed to put like the total amount or how much between the 2 years?
For number 1?
Yeah.
No, it says what was the most money raised in a single year. Single is 1 year. Pick the 1 year that the most money was raised. Just 1 year. Jen?
Are these dollars?
Well, how are you going to know that? What does it say on the side of that graph?
So it would be $700.
Right, because right here, don't forget, look over here. These numbers going up the side here, you have to read what it says here. Number of dollars raised. So where it says 100, that's $100. Where it says 200, that's $200.
No, it's just did that in the first one.
This says what? What was the most money raised? What kind of answer did you give me? In money, right? What does this question ask? No, in number 2. Stop there. In what? In which year? All right. Okay, no. Okay, let's start back here a minute. What was the most money? All right, forget that part here. What was the most money? So what's your first answer have to be in? Is it going to be a year or is it going to be money? It's going to be money, right. So now, what's the most here? Go across. All right, $700. But now the second question says, in which year? So now that answer is going to be a year. Brian? That's right. All right, so now you want in which year. Make sure you look at the questions carefully. If it asks you for how much money, your answer better be dollars. If it asks in which year, it should be one of the years at the bottom. So 1 and 2 are not the same answer. You can go right on to the bar graphs and the pie graph on the next page. How much money was raised in 1985? Where's 1985, right? Okay, and how much money was that?
300.
Right? Okay, where did the numbers go down? Where was there a decrease? Okay, but it didn't just go down here. It went from what year did it go down?
1985.
Right, it went down from here to here. Did it go down anyplace else? It didn't go down anyplace else? Check again. All right, it went from here to here. Now you have to see which is the largest amount it went down. Which years? Was it between here and here? What was it at this year? How much?
1985 to 1986.
All right, but how much was it in 1985?
300.
And how much was it in 1986?
200.
All right, so what was that a difference of?
100.
100. All right, how much was it in 1988? Oops, sorry.
700.
700. How much was it in 1989?
500.
So what's the difference there?
200.
200. So where's the bigger difference?
1988.
All right. Right, and you have to write both of those numbers down because it says between 2 years. Which 2 years? Yes, you can go on and do second page and third page. Right? All right, what does it say?
About what was the highest
Electricity
electricity used from
for Chilton. Chilton is the name of a place.
right.
All right. Electricity, they want to see what was the highest in Chilton. All right, well, here's Chilton here. What's the highest? What does it go up to? Now, you might want to take a paper here and go across like this so you can see where it is. Now, here's 60,000. What was the number before it?
50,000.
50,000. And we're going to say this is what, about halfway?
Yeah.
All right, so about how far is that then? About how much is that?
50,050.
Almost. What's the difference between 50,000 and 60,000? How much difference is it?
10%.
10,000. So what's half of 10,000?
5,000.
5,000. So we want to add 5,000 to 50,000. So how much would that be? 50,000 plus 5,000.
50,000
Plus 5,000, because that would be halfway between.
We used to do this question because this is how much money was raised at the fair in 1986.
No.
55,000.
Okay, so that's what your answer is going to be for this one.
Much greater was the child had the smallest range of electricity usage.
Which one? This one here, number 3?
Yeah.
Which town had the smallest range of electricity usage? Right. The dark one shows what? Right. And what does the lines show? The lowest. They want to know which one had which one here? Had the smallest range, the smallest difference between the high and the low. Well, look at this one between high and low. Look at this one between high and low. This one between high